Another episode of Stand-Up Memories.
This
Yes.
is so cool. You got a girl guest for us, a woman. You can't say girl anymore, right? You have to say a woman. You're
Yes.
still allowed to say. You're still allowed to say girl or woman.
Woman, girl or
You
woman.
don't have to say person.
No.
You say a woman.
But, your usual use of the term broad would be inappropriate at this time.
Well, referring to you, yes.
Another episode of Stand-Up Memories, ladies and gentlemen. I am Peter Bales, and this is Jackie.
That's the little bit of fun stuff we do in the beginning, so you see how much fun we are.
Jackie the Joke Man Martling, and a terrific woman, a terrific comedian, and I mean that. And I introduced her in a super historical way at Governor's Comedy Club the other night. I said to the audience, this woman's first name is Laura. Her last name is from an Oscar-winning movie about World War II. Now, you will get this because you know your history, at least a little bit.
The Manchurian Candidate?
No. North Africa, World War II, tank commander.
Eisenhower.
No.
MacArthur.
No,
Can I have a jelly bean? Remember that show?
I do. But our historically minded viewers know her last name. George C. Scott played the title character in this film. Ladies and gentlemen, a terrific comedian, a wonderful comedian, Laura Patton, who is not related at all.
Oh, after all that, she's not related to him?
Well, she could be. You haven't checked.
Oh, I've checked.
Hi, Laura. Sorry.
Hi, Peter. Hi, Jackie.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Now, I can vouch for the fact that she's really funny, and she's out there and making people laugh. And she actually, I find this a little hard to believe, but she's a fan of yours.
Of mine.
Yours.
But she's not related to General Patton.
No, I know, but still, she's a fan.
If
of
that's true, I am very flattered, and thank you very much.
Oh,
but
I am-
I don't trust him as far as I can throw him.
Well, there's nothing that says screeching salt in a comedy show. Someone's like, bring her on up, and then he drops like fun history facts. So Peter's always looking out for my best interests, as always. Fun fact, Peter. No, can I fangirl for like a minute? And I want to thank you for all the hours of listening from.
That's very sweet of you. Thank you.
I was. I look younger than I am, but in 1984, my first job was working at Cannoli Bag in Valley Stream, and you guys were on in the afternoon. And when you joined in '86, and I was trying to figure out. I was trying to look for it. I believe we all did Hands Across America on the West Side Highway. I can't remember. I know Robin Howard, Clarence Clemens, and Fred was there. I don't know if you cut out.
What
on that.
year?
May 25th, 1986. West Side Highway.
I'm sure I was there, but I don't know I was there.
Yeah, no. So a big fan. So thank you for
Thank
all those
you.
years.
See, that was
we've,
called Hands Across America.
Yeah. So everyone was going to hold hands. It was like I don't remember what was the underlying. It's weird, right? If you
Jackie
think about
could have
it.
missed
It was for
Heart Association?
food, I think.
Food? Maybe it
I don't
was
know.
hunger. It was a lot
If
of people
Jackie
hungry
heard
that year.
Hands Across America, he probably went to a Korean spa by mistake and
Get
missed
hands
it.
across.
Is that like a little naughty? Is that you putting your foot in the dirty water?
No, Peter can't. He's going to dip out right after.
I'm
this.
dipping out. Yeah, actually,
Hand jobs across America. Is that what you're trying to say?
Two-handed.
I'm sorry. It sounds like a really nice thing. Hands
Now,
Across
you weren't a
America.
comic back then.
No, I'm late to the game. I started at 50.
Wow, good for you.
I came in. I was always living room funny, and then I heard a comic be like, "Are you living room funny or stand up funny?" I'm still not sure. Some people say you're still not sure, but January is my 5-year anniversary. I took a class with Rick Chrome at the Cellar, who I adore, and then COVID shut everyone down, so I sort of spent like almost a year writing and perfecting.
Rick
the writing.
Chrome is a good guy.
Great
And
guy.
he,
don't
and
know
he
that
has a
name.
comedy class in the city. And
Oh,
just
that's right. He competes with Peter. I forgot.
no.
I'm not saying nothing.
No.
Coke and-
Go
Coke
ahead.
and Pepsi.
Promote your stupid.
Here we go. Coke and
class.
Pepsi. I forgot.
every show I plug my class, he gets fed up. StandUpUniversity.com if you're starting out in comedy.
If you're starting out in comedy.
And you know what? A lot of people are out there saying, I want to do it. Just do it. It can be a bucket list thing or it can be a serious career.
Yeah, I mean, in best case, you're going to get a tape so you can show your friends and impress
Yeah.
your friends and family. And no one has to know it's like a bringer or graduation show. And you love
Jim
it with your
Carrey,
friends.
Norm Macdonald, None of them ever heard of him.
None of them ever took stand-up university. But every comedian...
You could lie. You could say people. You'd be like
Well,
Rosie O'Donnell's
It
student.
is a great, great thing, and everybody enjoys it. Everybody has a fun time, and many people move on.
Now, I want to ask both of you now.
Yes.
Everybody remembers their first time and in comedy.
Having sex?
No.
Oh.
Well, they remember that. But
I blacked out, but that's
everybody
okay.
remembers their first time doing stand-up comedy. Now, I want to hear about your first time, but Jackie's first time would be weird because he started in music and transitioned in a different way than we talk about transitioning now, from music to
So
comedy.
far.
So you might even remember the first time you broke as a magician. Well, actually, that was kind of your band. You stopped doing music briefly enough to do a joke. That would have been the seminal first time of your comedy.
We
career.
just, I always told jokes in between songs, even in high school, which enraged the people in my band and enraged the people in the audience. But just something when there's people there, I just tell a joke. So, that's,
So Laura, what was your first time? Where was it, and was it positive?
Well, the first time was weirdly over Zoom. We finally, because of that whole
Yeah.
thing, and it was awkward because, so I wouldn't even count that. And then I did a graduation show, in the city, and then at my first bringer, I blew the light. I didn't know, and they were like coming after me at West Side Comedy in November 2021.
when you say graduation show, you mean graduation from the comedy class?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so what they do is sort of like everyone in the class brings their friends, and then, it's great. I got a great tape in front of the cellar wall and stuff
Because the
like that.
first time on stage can be so traumatic for comedians. Some, it goes so badly they want to quit, and some quit forever. You never know what could have been.
Right, and you could bring notes. But so the whole, it's like usually, I don't know if yours is 5 weeks, but basically 5 weeks you're going to work on your 5 minutes every week. You're going to perfect it. And it's setup, punch, words with K's are fun. Your basic stuff, punch, like have a joke every 15 seconds, some of your basic skills. And then the last class is a graduation class. So there's 8 people on the show, and sometimes to make the show not suck, because it could suck, they'll bring in a headliner and then maybe someone in the, like a more
But it's
recent
invited
graduate.
family and friends, so it's going to be a positive.
It's a warm audience. They're not going to not.
Because if you just
They're
go-
rooting for you.
they're
You would
rooting
like
for it.
to think that.
Yeah, they are. They are.
You would hope.
And it's important because the first time can be so difficult. But then, if you just go to an open mic night, a random open mic night for your first time doing stand-up, you can be psychologically scarred for life.
And open mic. So I've been to open mics in different cities. They're better. Like there was this one. I think this club just called, but Wiley's in Ohio. Like they're open mic. It's paid and people love it on like Sunday. New York open mics are awful because it's just all comics sitting in the dark. No one's ever going to laugh because if they laugh, they're admitting that you said something funny and they didn't think of it and they're pissed at you. So the New York experience is terrible. So it's sort of you could like work out stuff and maybe you'll get like a guffaw, like people work on that. But there are not. I have not found the experience of open mics in Long Island and New York to be very fruitful. There's a lot of them. There's like an app. I think there's like, listen, it's working for people. Like they just throw stuff out. I think there's almost like 30 a night. There's like apps, a couple ones that like you just find a mic anywhere, all over Queens and Brooklyn and stuff. But mic is not fulfilling until you're in front of just because you think it's funny. And then a lot of times, these young comics like, oh, I did a dick joke, that's so funny. But then you go sit in like a country club, or you go sit in Governors, or you sit with like an older audience, or you go to New Jersey or Pennsylvania, and I don't hear about young guys and their dicks. I don't. But you know what I mean? Like a lot of them. So that audience is not a true testament. Like you have to know your. I mean, listen, look what I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, you have to know your
But
audience.
yeah. So I think the New York mic experience is a little limited. So, but then they do things called bringers, which are awful. You didn't have to go through this. Where like, if you want to get any time on a stage in New York City, you have to bring 8. So it really costs you $150 every time you want to go up.
That
think
enraged
about
me when I first heard about.
Yep.
I think I was doing like that one-man show at Broadway Comedy Club just right after I got off the Stern Show, and that was the first time I heard the expression, which might have been going on for years because I wasn't in the.
Rich is
When I
notorious
heard the
for that.
expression a bringer show, I'm like, what does that mean? It means you got to bring 10 people
Yeah.
if you want to get on stage, and then it graduated to you got to bring 10 people that spend X amount of money. There's
Still 2-drink minimum. It's still the whole, so it's expensive. And then what's sadly, I mean, for seasoned comics in the city, if I'm a producer and I could fill, I've been on. I think my worst was for this guy Julius Carr. I think there were 19 comics. It was at Broadway. It was beyond awful. And I brought friends like not knowing in the beginning, and you feel so bad for making people sit there because it's unwise and it totally. And your friends like, I'm not coming because that
And the comics aren't very good because they're just starting out and
just
doing.
starting out. I mean,
bringer
sometimes
shows.
they'll dip someone better in it, but by the time that comic doesn't want to be associated with that either.
But we didn't have bringer shows when we started out, and there's even something more than that where they charge the comic to go on stage. If you can, I know this is going to freak you out.
I never heard of that.
that
Yeah.
I haven't heard of.
That yes, $5, $10, and you can go on.
Well, the mics in the city you always pay. Well, you pay either that you pay 5 or 10.
They get you.
They get
But
you.
this isn't like a tip to the MC to get them.
No, it's actually they charge everybody the
Way,
same.
way back, a couple of years before I even tried stand-up, I went to Catch a Rising Star, to see what it was like, and then I decided I'm going to try this, and I came back with my routine that I thought I knew, and at this point I had only told jokes in between playing the guitar in my band, and I went up and just bombed way beyond anything I can even imagine. But what you made me think of was one time I went back, I think I did it 3 or 4 times. I went back and I made the mistake of bringing a friend with me. And my friend Peter was sitting in the back, but Catch a Rising Star isn't that big, like the back is from me to Michael. And I was going to start with a song. And I started with one of my stupid sponsors from my band, a dirty sponsor, and got a big laugh. And I remember turning around and putting the sponsor, it was a spray bottle, putting it down, saying to myself, I got this.
Yeah.
And I turned around to play a song, and on the first swipe, I broke the A string. Now, if the guitar has 6 strings, the A string is the second thickest. It's like, forget about having a flat tire on a bicycle, it's having no tire. And like an idiot, I was panicking, and I finished the song, which was so beyond atrocious, completely forgetting my friend Peter's there, and I got done with the song. And he stood up and screamed and clapped, which just made it the world's worst.
I know.
Worse than your
like a
friends not
pity
laughing
clap.
is
Yeah,
your
yeah.
friends overreacting,
So Laura,
Yeah.
tell me,
Yes.
do you remember a particular time when you were on stage and it was working and you said to yourself, I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep doing this.
Well, I came through the bringer machine coming out of COVID, and then Kenan Thompson, I don't know if you heard about that. Like, he runs a contest. It's a whole thing. It's sort of weird, but coming out of COVID, a lot of good comics went on it because it was the first thing. So I was on a show with like Tom Eshelman and Elisa DeLucci and this guy, Stephen Buda, who's been doing comic for 20, whatever. It was a great one. And I had an opportunity to be on stage in Gotham, and then the finals were at Caroline's before they closed or whatever. And the Gotham, when it was a room full of, what does that hold, like 300 people or whatever. And it just, everything hit, and I loved it. And I just, you couldn't get a better feeling. And I was so proud of myself. And, because listen, if I act, I'm saying your words. And even if I wrote the words, I have a set. I have like you're up there as vulnerable, even with music. No offense to me. I mean, music's way more gifted than that. But I could hide behind a guitar. I could hide behind a piano. If I'm
Absolutely.
if I'm dropping it, but you might as well go out there naked, and it's all on you. And I've learned where you hold the mic, where you stand, little things that you think sounds funny, but then the pronoun or you said it wrong, and like why joke worked that day, and then it didn't work the next day. So the ability to tape it and stuff. That experience at Gotham was like, wow, I like it.
Every comedian who keeps at it knows that feeling.
when you really get hooked.
And I always say it's better than sex. And
Well,
Jackie
you had sex
always.
with my husband, which was definitely better.
It's better than sex with Jackie. Let me put it that way. No, it's better.
What isn't?
It is. And you can be addicted to that feeling. I really believe that.
And I
You
pass.
can be-
So my friends from home, because it's it's weekends and stuff, and I say no to a lot of things now because I wait to get called. Like I wait for like my night at the dance kind of thing, and my friends like Laura left to join the circus. Like it's a whole new, and you do stuff for not a lot of money, or you do stuff for, I'm what I call myself comedian with car, because I'll befriend a lot of New York City people, and then we'll take road work. And I befriended, he befriended me, really, Teddy Smith. So Teddy's really been a blessing.
Those
to
New York
me.
City comics love the comics with cars.
Yes.
That can be an issue. Gas money.
Yeah, so I get road work.
I mean, that has been the same forever and ever.
That
and
has
ever.
been the same forever and ever.
Yeah, and if you have a nice car and you'll pick up tolls and I'll pick up lunch, I mean, that's a win-win.
But you started talking about something that Jackie talks about. We talked about it on the podcast. You're going to work and your friends are wondering, where are you?
Yeah.
And Jackie calls it facing the wrong way. How would you explain that to her? Comedians are facing the wrong way.
That's your job. Like when you're a performer, everybody's facing this way, and an actor or any kind of show business, you're facing the wrong way. But to us, we're facing the right way.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you think about, so if I do theater, if you guys have a theatrical background, the fourth wall, you don't break it. And in comedy, you're encouraged to break it. Like, I need to get the response from, it is very weird. And I see listen, I'm blessed to open for, I saw David Tell, Anna Ferrara, people that I've been able to, through a lot of good comics, come through Governors and stuff. And I just watch when the audience comes for them and they just love them. And it's just, but they'll be as humbling in the back. But then when they go out, just the electricity in the room, I mean, it's, you know what a drug.
It's
And
like
It is a
nothing
drug.
else.
It is a drug, without a doubt.
And to get to the point where people come for you, not just come for comedy, and it happens to be you, and she's fun. Like right now, listen, my friends will come for me for stuff, like if I produce or whatever. But for the most part, when we become the Governors, I feel like I have a job to do, whether I'm hosting, whether I'm featuring, that it's my job to make sure I didn't suck, and set the table for the next guy or whatever.
For everybody watching who's not from Long Island, the Governors is a big club in the center of Long Island, and the same people own 2 other clubs, and they're great places to work. They really are.
Yeah, no, where else would I get to be in front of 300 people? My peers, I can make a joke. I'm like, I get boyfriends, the old-fashioned way. I have to blow a guy in Uncle Sam's parking lot. People are like, all these.
Uncle Sam's was, how would you
That's what I'm
describe?
saying, it was
How
hard
long has
work.
that been gone?
Yeah, Uncle Sam's was, what kind of a club?
92-ish gone, 91 maybe gone.
Well, yeah, but
I was more of a Guido, so I really went to
Uncle
Focus
Sam's was kind
and-
of
and,
punk. I mean, could you say punk?
It
No, it was a
it was
disco.
like DRE. It was dance, but it would be. Well, it had Guido nights too, but Focus and Malibu and Club G in the Garden City Hotel. People dance. We loved it.
Oh,
and maybe if you
now
put
you
something in the
used
parking
the
lot.
word Guido, which I will not use.
Why?
Because what I teach at standupuniversity.com is you can
Oh,
make
there we
fun
go. How
of
many
your
times
own
do we keep a
ethnicity,
counter?
but
we should
not.
get a pitch count.
You're
You
not
can-
a Guido?
No, I am a superior white Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
Or as long as you don't make fun of anyone else.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Peter.
No, but I mean, you can say that because you
I am
are
Italian, even though
Italian.
Patton is married. Nicotra is my maiden name, so the Patton. I come out and someone's like, "You sound like if a dish of spaghetti could talk." Whatever, but that's what someone said to me in Vegas.
I have never thought, and maybe I'm stupid, is Guido denigrating?
I think so, but not if I say it. I don't think it's as. It depends on how you. The term now is freestyle, so it was Italians, but like a Jew is a Jewish cuisine kind of thing. But that was the Long Island style with the IROC and going out dancing and then going for disco Fridays after. It was a whole. You sat at the beach all day, you worked, and then you went out at night and danced and loved it. And the little Guidos or the little Italian guys that own pizza places would stand on the outside because there was a sunken dance floor and you thought they were taller and they'd step down and you're like, oh, you're not that tall. So, but that was the thing. It was a scene that you can go into the city, you can go to the Limelight, but then we were dubbed Bridge and Tunnel, which is what they call
Right.
people that came from New York and Long Island and New Jersey. We weren't cool enough to live in the city.
Would you ever meet a guy at those places?
My friends
A decent
did. They
guy, a
were
good-
faster. I was not. This was not catching a lot of dicks back in the day, Peter. It was not. Just saying.
Stop.
It wasn't. Listen, I can go out now. I do fine, but it was not. I was tall. People in Long Island are short. I think I would have had to go to the Midwest. Tall women. There's not a lot of tall men in Long Island.
Oh, wait, well, get this out. I mean, we want
No,
this.
there were not tall men.
Long Island men apparently are not tall.
They're not.
Well,
I
Tourists
went
are
after
short.
tall women because they were low-hanging fruit.
because they were so hungry to get hit on.
You're like, wow, me? Yes, you.
Yes.
You know.
Well, I mean, now that we're on this subject, what would turn you off about a guy who was
Nothing, because if they were talking to me, I was a win. I was like, "Ooh," fished in. I was easy. It was fine. But you know what? Me and my girlfriends also said maybe we didn't go out looking for men, because I have really fucking funny friends. Like, we just laughed. I don't know what man would want to approach like 6 girls being obnoxious and drinking.
Boy, that's the
asses.
lion's den right there.
Yeah,
you know.
you're not going near. I mean, you got to have balls to go near it. And guys that go into it love it. But a lot of guys won't go near it because you're like, yeah. My friend was like, yeah, what do you do for a living? And she's like, your father. Like, just shit like that. Like, so stupid.
Where
I grew up in Elmont. I'm Elmont. That's in
You know,
tried
can
and
I
true.
say
like if I
on-
went on Jeopardy, I would say
on
Elmont.
behalf of men everywhere, some of us are just shy, okay? It's not easy
Peter, stop
to go
it.
up to approach a woman at a club, okay?
let
It's
alone five
just five of them
standing together.
Together.
Drinking shots of woo-woo, talking shit, not being quiet.
All right, now, thank you for being honest, putting men in their place. We often ask comedians on this show,
Yes.
have you had horrible moments on stage? It's hard to explain. Comedians are exposed, we're naked out there.
Because just sitting here describing how wonderful it is and how exuberating you feel, but he's talking about
Yeah, no, you got to
The other side of the coin.
We've all had that.
I ate a few dicks, and no, can you say dicks on this show?
Yeah.
Well,
say
you
whatever
have
you
17 times already, so let's go with it.
Where's your pitch cat? No, so I was thinking so one thing I got hustled in the beginning, some guy was like, I want to put you on this show, blah, blah, blah. I met him in a Freeport parking lot. He's like, oh, how many people do you think you could sell in the beginning? I'm like, oh, I could bring 30 friends because I was producing and I could bring 30. He's like, all right, so buy 30 tickets off me and then you'll sell them for
no.
50. And I felt like Coco in Flashdance. Like I wasn't going to not Flashdance, oh my God, Fame. Where like she's crying, like she got hustled in a thing. I mean, I wasn't taking out my titties, but you know the expression. Not you, Peter. But so I went to the bank machine, gave the guy like $750.
Oh, no.
really?
Yes.
No.
As a grown woman who like negotiates for a living, you just fall into that whole thing. And then I was like, I am not charging people $50 for a show. And then the show, what can we say, urban? It was an urban show.
Urban.
You know what? I'm picking up what I'm putting down. So it was like 14 comics. It was at the Belmont. It was at the theater they call the Itch. You know the
Right.
It was beyond all. I like begged people to buy these tickets off me, and it was the worst experience. And then I went out. I followed this girl who looked like Little Bella, but she was a woman, but was a man. I don't know. It was terrible. And I was like, what is this, a chicken and waffles? And it just went bad. It was bad. It went super, super bad. And the show was almost 4 hours long. It was terrible.
So you had the combination of a bad set
Pissed off the
that cost you a
audience.
fortune.
Cost me a fortune. And I just had my friend, and then I lost a lot of people that were like, oh, come to the show. They're like, oh, it's going to be like that one. So then I burnt bridges with people, but I didn't know. I just needed these tickets.
So you lost money big time.
I wound up selling except 5. I ate 5 or something, but it was, and I didn't make
But
money.
forget
on it.
about money and losing money. But he's also talking about just having a bad time on stage
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
And the
like-
host would do like 20 minutes between every, I'll tell you after the show, but between every person, and he kept changing his outfit, and it was a thing. It was bad.
Okay.
And my family.
But how did you feel?
Awful. Like I was quitting. I was like, I'm
we've all had
out.
that.
This
We've
is
all had
stupid.
that.
And then I had an opportunity. Do you guys know Ray Ellen? Do you
Yeah.
know Ray? Yeah. So Ray, I knew before. He was someone I knew before comedy, and he was gracious enough. He does Aruba Ray in Aruba. He figured that
Yeah.
out 10 years ago, and it's a great. Now he has a spot, and he has really high end comics from New York and New York City, which is a great deal because the shows are Monday to Thursday. So for a comic, he's like, I'll give you a vacation. I'll pay you not a crazy amount, but your airfare, anything, and then come here Monday to Thursday and then go home and work on the weekends. So I think Ray's in his 10th or 12th year, like doing it's really great. So I was like, oh, I'm going to meet Aruba. Can I be on your show? And he was like, sure, I'll give you a guest spot, which he usually doesn't do, which I learned that was very generous for him. So I went and I was on the show with Christine Hurley, Jared Freed, and Des Bishop. Big guns. And Ray is an unbelievably great host. And Ray's like lives in Aruba. So he started out, the first thing he's talking about, chickies and the supermarket and
so everything Aruba related, and then I came out and I was a little nervous. I didn't think I worked that blue, but I guess the bit was bluer than what they expected, like Country Club Clean. Like
Yeah.
I should have really taken a page out of Peter's book, but I didn't. And it was bad. I didn't think, I felt awful. Like it ruined my vacation. But it was fun. But the funny part of the story, we went back to the hotel after, and my friends were like, you were great, you were great. I'm like, oh, I wasn't great, I know the difference. And I called, like, at that point, Carrie Cotter, who's been great, and I called her up, she's like, oh, I've been there, and you're hiding in the bathroom, and you hear people talk about you. So anyway, we went out after, and people were coming back, because there's not a lot to do in Aruba, so we were coming back, I'm like, did you go to the comedy show? Did you go to the comedy show? I was just asking everyone, like an asshole, like I wanted to get feedback. I knew the answer. And some guy's like, oh, I didn't go, but my friends went. I go, did they love it? He goes, oh, they said the show was really good, except there was this one lady. And he's like, oh, there was one lady that was terrible in the beginning. I was like, I was the lady.
That's what you get for asking.
That's what I get for asking. I knew the answer.
Hey, another mention, Carrie Louise, a guest
a
on our
delight.
podcast. Remember,
Was she on?
she was on.
She's wonderful.
And go to standupmemories.com and look up her episode. What a terrific, terrific lady. Now give it to Jackie and me right between the eyes.
What?
Special challenges that women have starting out in stand-up comedy, be honest.
Well, a couple things. So if you, there's a couple pecking orders of the women. So if you're older, it's against you. Number two, if there's going to be a lineup, it's either you're going for the one black guy or the one woman spot. You can't have too many,
Is that
women
true?
in black.
Still true?
I see lineups sometimes and I'm shocked. It's like one woman. Or then if you have too many women, they're like, it's a lady show. And ladies
You
are
can't
funny.
have two ventriloquists, the whole,
Yeah,
that's
so
the same idea.
thing. But then you fall into the pile with like gay, black, brown too. So if you lost that slot, that's it. The other is younger people that will chuckle fuck or like give sexual favors for time, which is out there. I'm a little past my prime and a married woman. So you lose it out to that and they're not funny, so they make it look bad. Are you?
I'd like clarification on the term chuckle fuck. Jackie, do you know?
I'm sure
Yeah,
you have many
whenever a girl
chuckle
wanted to come on at Governor's when I was running it, there was a special requirement, but we didn't call it that.
fuck. What do you call it?
What do you? I didn't ask you to confess.
Yes, we just want to know.
I never did that.
I know you didn't. I know you.
With you, yes.
All right.
No,
well,
but that, of course, that goes on.
Yes.
And this whole thing with the whole casting couch and the Me Too thing. I think the casting couch was invented before show business, and then they built show business around it.
100%.
That's
And then don't forget, you have women. Women tend to, talk about what you know. So a lot of time, no offense to women that this is their bit, but they talk about dating or you're going to lose half. Where women will be more tolerant to put up with the guy that, men are like, oh, you lost the audience. So you have to, where I get, you're funny for a girl.
oh,
You're funny.
No. Who
Yeah,
says that?
my husband, but no, it's.
I'm so sorry to
you're
hear.
good in
He's
bed.
like,
You're good in bed for a wife.
He's like, I'm so grateful you don't suck, because then I'm like, thank you. And some people are like, you're really funny, for a lady.
But you're out there, you're doing it, and you're so funny.
doing it.
I can vouch for her. You got to see her.
Oh, thank you.
Grab one of those. Hey, we have a sponsor.
Yeah, I saw.
And
Do we all grab them? Do we all hold
You
them?
can
yeah,
hold
you
one
grab
up.
one.
Yes.
Grab one.
Do we hold it like this?
Yes, hold
Okay.
it. We are proud of this sponsor. I have tried this. I can vouch for it. This is Cycling Frog, and they make, basically, it's a cannabis company, and they make seltzer with THC and CBD, and it's a great buzz, and it's just fun, and there's no hangover. What do you want me to say? I mean,
I quit drinking 25 years ago, and now I love it because, of course, you could just have seltzer or water, but it's so nice to have something with a little bit of intoxication going over the ice cubes, and then I'm part of the party again.
Oh, absolutely.
It's nice.
So is it different colors, different flavors? or
Yes.
Different, okay.
What flavor do you have?
Oh, wild cherry, it says it on the front.
Okay, black currant, and there's others.
That's
There's
racist.
different strengths.
They now have iced tea, which is 10 times stronger than these, and they just came out with cranberry or cran apple, which is 10 milligrams. So there's 2, there's 5, there's 10, and that's what I've been doing is the 10. And the 50 is crazy. drank one of those over, I think, the course of 3 days, because you always have to remember with brownies or anything or gummies, it takes so long.
hits later,
It
right?
takes so long that, you're just about ready to give up,
Yeah,
And
it's
then you
a-
go to bed and all of a sudden you're seeing colors,
I'm telling you, it works. Great to have one of these and watch a movie. I laughed and laughed. Unfortunately, the movie was about the Holocaust.
Right, right.
So
Well,
maybe
I
it's-
sit there and laugh
Not
and then
appropriate.
I realized I didn't have the TV on, so
Yes.
it must be working well.
This is a fun product. It's a cutting edge product. Terrific THC seltzer without a hangover.
Cyclingfrog.com.
And look-
Cyclingfrog.com.
And we are so tight with them. All you have to say when you order is SUM20 and you get a discount.
Where it says insert promotional code, but remember to do it before you get to the end, because I always forget. And it's SUM20, but you have to do capital S, capital U, capital M, or it doesn't go through.
SUM, capital S, capital U, capital M, 20.
And it's great. Try it. You'll like it.
Cyclingfrog.com.
So Peter, I can exclude you for a second because Jackie just said how many years he is sober. I too have a good chunk of sober time, and I think that's helped in sobriety. I had 10 years in a church basement in Long Beach, making like 100 people laugh with the truth, with telling true stories. And I think there's a lot to be said. In January, it'll be like 13 years, 15 years. something like that.
Congratulations.
Thank-
Congratulations.
thank you.
That's really, really nice.
Yeah, and I think that has a lot to do with my, who my persona was, who I was. I don't talk about it on stage because I still like live in the corporate world, and I should, but
Yeah,
my drug of choice was the
Okay.
So
But that was a while ago.
yeah, no, January 21st was 2009 was the last time I touched that.
Okay. All
Good,
right.
good.
Well, that's
For the
really good
liquor,
too.
but that'll get you, yeah.
Now, I want you all to remember the name Laura Patton.
Yes.
She's funny. She doesn't hold back.
No.
She's tough. I think you come across as tough in a good
And
way.
her uncle
you.
was General George Patton.
Yes.
I thought that introduction I gave her at Governor's.
I thought it was
it was
spectacular.
It was
Amazing. You
spectacular.
should
The
see
whole
Oh, the
town.
one
They
here
were-
was pretty good.
Jackie, they were laughing so hard when he was giving historical facts. I was like,
That's what we call sarcasm.
you
which
were
is
my
the-
fluffer, Peter, and I came out with the money shot, so.
Oh, you see, that's Laura. She doesn't hold back. Fluffer. I mean, you remember your first job.
As a fluffer?
I'm just.
We teach Peter, me and this other comic, Carla, we teach Peter, he learned Trap House, right?
Yeah.
I
what's-
don't know that.
What is that? That
Well,
I
Trap
forgot.
House, where you go is where you would keep like your hose or your drugs or something like that at the Trap House.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we like to teach Pete, Carla and I like to teach Peter
Yeah,
dirty words.
Carla Okerson. They teach me dirty stuff that I think I know it all, but I don't.
I think the whole world learned about fluffers from that great movie. What was the movie?
Yeah, with
Boogie
Burt
Nights.
Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights.
Well, please come back.
Oh my
You are
goodness, thank you. You guys are a doll. Oh, and then, Jackie and I shared the same hair cutter. Another fun fact.
Sal?
Sal.
No.
Yes.
There you go.
Let me.
Sounds great.
This has nothing to do with anything.
Nothing.
The local bar in Oyster Bay is Uvi's, the Homestead, and I was in there one night, and this guy came up to me and said, "Hey, how you doing? My name is Sal, and I recently moved to East Norwich, and I'm a big fan, and you should come get your hair cut in Woodbury at this salon." And I'm like, I've never gone to anything but a regular Sam the Barber, but he was such a nice guy. And I've told you this before, he's the guy that joined the East Norwich Fire Department, and he said in the basement of the fire department, under lock and key, they have trophies from the fire department things that they have, and there were trophies that were won by the Theodore Roosevelt branch of the KKK.
The Theodore Roosevelt branch of the KKK.
I don't know if there's any truth to that, but so now I know Sal actually existed.
Sal's real. We got a cut in Woodbury, and I was going there.
Are you still in touch with him?
I lost touch with Sal because I moved around a couple places because it was far to get to Woodbury from Belmont or whatever. But so my son's 22, so my son was on my lap. I was going to Massachusetts, and I was getting a haircut, and Sal goes, "Oh, do you mind, Jackie?" Okay, of course. So Jackie cut. So I was sitting there
cut hair, cut my spot. So I was sitting there holding my son, and who I did not have a small baby, because I'm a big person, I have big babies. So my son was born 11 pounds, so it was a hardy kid. So Jackie's trying to make small talk, which was very gracious of you. And Jackie goes, what are you feeding this kid? Furniture? And I use that.
This is me?
Yes.
What
That
are
was
you,
a great line.
What are you feeding this kid furniture?
Where were we, on our way to a gig or something?
No, you were getting your hair cut. And you came in, and I moved
Oh,
out of the
this is
chair.
at Sal's salon?
At Sal's salon. So I was holding my son, who's 22. He's a big kid. And you're like, look at that kid. How old is he? Like, what is he, like 7? Because you don't know kids or whatever. And I was like, Jackie, he's like 2. And he's like, what are you feeding him? Furniture?
That's
That
a
was
great
good
line.
That is a
Did
great
I really
line.
say that?
Yes.
He invited me to go there, and he said, come on, I'll give you a discount or whatever. And I didn't care. He just thought, but I loved going there because it's like 20 beautiful girls
Yeah,
in
it
the,
was beautiful
getting their
salon
hair
in
cut,
Woodbury.
getting their hair washed, and everybody,
This is
And I love going there because I could run into Jackie the
Does
Joke
it
Man,
still
get a haircut.
exist?
I'm flirting with the guys that are doing the
He
hair.
is,
Sal?
yeah, he used to put his knee on the thing for, rub his D on your elbow, but no, he didn't. I'm kidding.
Well-
no, Sal, I don't know where Sal's cutting these days. We could find him.
Okay.
He moved and stuff and about.
All right.
Peter, you can go to Sal. We'll find Sal. We'll have Sal on the show one
I'll go
day.
to Sal.
I need to get his
I'm gonna
his
see if I
contact
have
to
his,
see. Sometimes something happens and I hear something and I realize I've been repeating the same thing for 30
it's a
years,
true
and I
story.
say I've
Sounds
never
real.
gone back and checked the validity. Like somebody might say, "Oh, I was lying." Well,
All right.
how am I going to go around to the 15,000 people I've told
Yeah,
to
no
lie
one's gonna
to?
fact check
An
you.
Italian guy named Sal who cuts hair.
Is he a Guido?
Yes, he was, but a cute one.
You'll
and
find him.
not
That's all you need to
tall.
know.
I don't think Guido
Not
is bad.
tall.
All right, Laura
Oh,
Patton.
sorry, I ran over.
No,
My
Laura
bad.
Patton, you are
No.
so funny.
Oh,
You're terrific.
Thank you.
And Jackie, the usual.
What's that? Thank you, Peter. You were wonderful.
I'm so surprised. That's passive aggressive. Have you ever had somebody come up to you after a comedy show who knows you? You were so funny. I'm so surprised.
I stand next to the
That's passive
headliners.
aggressive.
You don't get this, Peter, because you're important. But I get that when I stand next to, and everyone's like, "Oh, Peter, you're so great," and they look at me and they go, because I'm standing there, they're like, "Oh, you were good too."
Yeah,
That
is
used to happen
tough.
in Florida when three acts would be there and they say, "You were so great, you were so great," and then they just keep going. But you never knew who that was going to happen to.
That's
So if
right.
I ever had a Netflix special, I'm going to name it "You Were Good Too." That's my
that's-
goal.
that's
So
a
if
good
you guys
title.
hear that, it started here. Here we go. You were good too, Peter.
Comedian Laura Patton, not related to the famous
None.
general. Jackie the Joke Man.
Look
Martling.
for The Better Sister coming to Amazon Prime sometime in the spring. We have no idea when this is going to air, and I'm in it for 14 seconds. That's including the commercial break, so please tune into that.
And
and
my
follow
name,
me on Laura Patton. I'm sorry,
Oh,
I
sorry,
jumped
yeah.
in.
Go ahead.
Follow
No,
me
no,
on Laura Patton comedy, Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff. I need the people. I need the
Okay,
likes. I
Laura
need the stuff.
Patton Comedy.
Yes.
Okay. And I always say, find me on MySpace. Because I'm a little bawkward.
His phone number, Primrose5.
Remember when they had,
Look in his
letters?
high school yearbook to find his name. When they had
When
letters.
we were talking about, remember they had letters before phone numbers. That's, you remember that?
Yeah, Primrose5, and
Okay.
it's like the neighborhood.
All right. Trying to exit this podcast.
Yes, sorry, Peter.
No, that's quite all right. Laura Patton, you've been terrific. Jackie!
Oh, thank you.
I kid you, but...
Beechwood 4, 5, 7, 8, 9.
And my name is Peter Bales. We'll see you next time on Stand Up Memories.
Woo!